Hey everyone, you're here with Mark on Perfect Gardens TV. Just wanted to say thank you so much to Melinda Green. She asked an absolutely wonderful question from the video Harvesting for the Highest ROI. So her question is, how do I decide which part to examine for the trichome mix? I see plenty of amber trichomes on the sunny side of my buds, but not on the shady side. So the choice of where to look will make a big difference. I simply never hear about where to sample. So first off, before I get into the video, I just want to say a special thanks to our sponsors, Drops Balance. Drops Balance is the only product in literally the world, I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I would just feel relatively comfortable at this point to say that stops the cannabis plants from accumulating heavy metals. And that's such a important fact, and I'll be talking a little bit about it at the end of this video. So if you haven't checked out our other video too about doing field density testing in the plants, where I talk about how to actually put your hands on the plants and to check for the density, a few other things, I just released it. I'll make sure to put it up on the screen. So this is also another key mindset around harvesting, I believe, because what's happening right here is she's absolutely right, which is another reason why I reinforce multi-harvesting, right? And a lot of people don't really understand the value of multi-harvesting yet in the industry. And the reason why, I think, is because relatively a lot of people's gardens are only one or two plants. And so, and by that time, we're so anxious to cut it down and try our own fruits of our labor that we really just don't think about how to maximize our yield more often than not. Although if you're in a commercial setting, this key detail right here, because she's telling you for a fact, she's letting you know that through her observations, some of the plant on one side is more mature than on the other side through looking at the crystals. This is also why when you're out there in the field and you're starting to take a look at the crystals on the plants, especially when you have so many flowers on the plant, a lot of people will potentially look at the tops of the flowers and then make that call, making the assumption that the entire plant is mature, but that's not the case. Just like how she's mentioning, whether it's the sunny side, the shady side, whether it's on the bottom 2/3 of the plant, whether it's in the center of the plant, there's so many different parts of the plant where the plant's maturing at different points. You really want to not just look at the trichomes, you also want to make sure to put your hands on the flowers and do those field density testings that I recommended on the past video. Because when you do this, especially when you're in a large garden, you're going to really increase your yield dramatically, because when you go over there and you harvest one part of the plant and then you jump over to the next plant and you harvest whatever's the most mature through the colors of the trichome and the field density hands-on testing, then you jump to the next plant and the next plant. By the time you get back to the original plant, depending upon the size of the garden, maybe a week or two later, wherever you cut those flowers off, it opens up the rest of the plant, and you gave it a whole nother week for the plant to mature more, that wasn't being exposed to the light, and you allow your yield to increase. And if you continue to keep taking advantage of that multi-harvest process, as long as you have the season, or if you're growing indoors, then you can built in a schedule, or you built in a systematic process of bringing in new plants while the old plants are being harvested. Whatever the case is, if you build in these systems or processes within the harvesting time, you will very easily, there's a couple different factors on this. Actually, you'll very easily increase your yield 15 to 20% very easily. But then also what's going to happen, instead of you having a whole bunch of popcorn buds, you're going to have larger flowers that you're going to be able to offload at a larger ROI in the industry. Because if you have popcorn buds, normally they're going to go to extraction, and they might, I don't know where the prices are nowadays, but they might be going for $50 to $100 a pound, depending upon trim. Or if you have the nicer flowers or nicer popcorn, might go for a little bit more. But when you allow the plant to mature more, your yields are going to increase. And then also you're going to have more sellable flower that is going to be desired by the normal consumer. So this makes a big deal, because you've spent months and months growing these plants. You've spent all this money to get the plants plants to this point, why not just go out there, find what's ready to be harvested, and then just be patient, build in that time, and versus just chopping the whole plant down like you're just anxious to complete this job. But instead of being anxious, fall in love with what you're doing to the point where you never want it to stop, right? And if you never want it to stop, you're going to constantly keep making the effort to prolong your experience with these plants. And if you go through that multi-harvest experience, you're going to reduce your workload overall in the harvesting time, because you're not having to harvest these large branches. I mean, because these plants get incredibly heavy, and a lot of people just chop them off at the base. And sometimes you might have to do that if you don't have the weather, but you go out there, you find exactly what's ready to be harvested. And if you go through the drying techniques like I've recommended also in past videos, then you're able to start to develop healthy systems of processes in the curing room. So meaning you've set up your curing room, you're hanging the flowers properly, you're giving proper spacing, good enough airflow, you're kind of testing the room to see how fast the plants are drying out, things along those lines. You're just getting into the rhythm of harvesting. And then when you go back and you once again do that field density test as well as looking at the trichomes of the plants, you're going to be able to harvest another section of those plants, but you're still not going to be chop it all down. If you can keep prolonging this harvest as long as possible, as long as you have things to harvest, right? It's not like you're waiting for the plant. We're talking about large farms. You're going to go through and you're just going to keep working every day, but instead of just chopping the whole plant, you're going to selectively harvest what's ready to be harvested. As you're going through your whole garden doing that, by the time you get back, you're going to repeat that process and just keep doing it to the point where maybe you've went through 2 or 3 harvests, depending upon how large your farm is. And then what you do is on the rest of the branches, you're just going to strip all the flowers off of the rest of those branches. And then as you strip in that material, you'll end up just throwing it onto drying nets. And those will then become your popcorn flowers that can go to extraction. So what you're doing is you're just creating a very efficient process around selecting your flowers for harvest. You're reducing your overall workload on your harvesting crew. And then when you get to the point where you can't harvest anymore, you're just stripping the rest off and creating large bundles of popcorn-sized flowers that could go, like I said, to water extraction, various things to create concentrates. One of the things I wanted to talk to you a little bit about from our sponsor, Drops of Balance, is to remember that the cannabis is a bioaccumulator that can't distinguish the difference between heavy metals and fertilizers. That's why I always talk about when we're giving synthetic fertilizer and you turn it to the back of the bottle and you see these incomplete chemical reactions, through some process, heavy metals are in these materials that we get. That's why we see these dark green. It's not just like urea, nitrogen, but it's actually these plants can't distinguish whether it's good nutrients or bad nutrients. It just accumulates all of it. And then it doesn't actually accumulate it in the tissues. It accumulates it in the oil, actually in the actual pod of the flower. The pod of the trichome. So remember, Drops Balance is the only product in the industry that actually locks up all the heavy metals in the soil and doesn't allow the plant to be taken up. The reason why when we go out there and we see homeless people and they're losing their teeth or they're kind of going a little mentally crazy, it's not that they are, like smoking the harder drugs. It's the heavy metals that accumulate through the process of when people take these drugs and they cut them on the street, and instead of using like scientific glassware, they're using plastic jugs, or they're using 2-liter Coke bottles or whatever to do a chemical reaction. When these chemical reactions happen, various plastics or maybe like arsenic is never filtered out through another process through the manufacturing of a pure substance. And what ends up happening, these heavy metals accumulate. Well, cannabis is doing the same thing. It's accumulating these heavy metals. And whether the heavy metals are in the soil because of previous toxic soil, or they're actually in the fertilizer bottles that being used to make they call it plant nutrients. So just remember, if you don't want to be smoking heavy metals, if you want to be producing the cleanest, healthiest medicine, we recommend checking out Drops of Balance, the only product that actually, through scientific steps that we've proven this year through field tests, locks up the heavy metals in our soil so they don't accumulate in the plant and we end up not smoking it with our medicine. Thank you so much and have a great grow. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.